Hey, it's the IB Experience. Love, liquor, and lifestyle. The IB Experience is about heaven on earth. Pastor IB created the IB Experience as a wisdom brand to equip you to fulfill purpose, reach full potential, and achieve personal freedom. This is about real stories, real people, and real solutions. Welcome to the IB Experience Learning Community. Enjoy learning, sharing, and deep conversations. Let's turn that setback into a setup. With clarity, you can act decisively, trust the future, and make love and life outcomes predictable. Understanding your purpose, the problems you solve, your target market, and your unique path empowers you to live above feelings and sentiments, break out of addictions, switch emotions, and unlock your God-given destiny. The IB Experience. There's more within. Switch it on.
One of the lessons we have learned from the lives of King Solomon and Samson is that while physical attraction, which most people call love, is critical for negotiating relationships, it is important to note that during your lifetime, you will be attracted to many persons, and each attraction will be magical and unique. However, physical attraction cannot become the primary parameters for negotiating relationships, which is why both men had probably the worst relationships in the Bible. The second lesson we have learned is that love is a journey and not a destination. And that to start your journey of love, you don't wait until you fall in love. No, you create your roadmap for love long before you fall in love. The reasons: if you wait to fall in love before you create a roadmap for that journey, then the probability is that your journey may end as a disaster. Number 3, we have also learned that love does not build a home. It is incapable of doing so. It is wisdom that builds a home. What wisdom does is that it lays the substructures even before the person is found or in view. Number 4, to create a roadmap, remember that in the journey of love, just like in any other journey, you must determine your destination before you set out. Profound. The next thing you want to also understand that we have learned is that as important as your destination is in any journey, who you travel with might be more important than your desired destination. The truth is that no matter your chosen destination, your partner will determine when and how and even where you eventually arrive. Critical lesson that we've learned. Also, we've learned that in the journey of love, partner choice is therefore the most critical decision that you want to make. It makes all the difference in the world. It makes a difference between whether you succeed, whether you fail. It makes a difference whether your journey becomes an endurance trek or whether it is a journey to bliss. So the question then is, how do we negotiate our way as we choose partners? This is so important. Now let me show you a lesson from the life of Joseph and his own model for negotiating relationships. Now, Joseph and his wife Asenath had one of the most successful relationships in the biblical history. And you will ask me, so how do you know it was that successful? Listen, without a formidable home structure, family structure, it is difficult, probably impossible, for anybody to accomplish the kind of feat that Joseph was able to accomplish. And one of the secrets that made Joseph's relationship successful is the fact that when people get married for purposes beyond them, for reasons that are higher than them, beyond their personal, selfish reasons and aggrandizement, when people get married with clearly defined mutual understanding, combined with mutual attraction, then it cannot get better than that. So for Joseph, he was getting married for something higher, there was mutual understanding, and then attraction can become useful with these other factors. And I tell you why. When Joseph went into Pharaoh's service, as part of the requirements for such an incredibly elevated office, the second in command, Pharaoh had to go into a covenant relationship with Joseph through marriage. Listen, that was the only way Pharaoh could be assured that Joseph will be able to serve with the interest of Egypt at heart. Joseph needed to be part of, Joseph by marriage needed to become a citizen of Egypt, so that Joseph will understand that whatever he does for or against Egypt, he does for or against not just his wife, but his own offspring. So you can see that primarily, fundamentally, Joseph's marriage or relationship was not based on love, but on mutual understanding. So what Pharaoh did was give him to wife the daughter of a top-ranking Egyptian. Pharaoh gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, who was the priest of On. Now, understand the background. Being the daughter of the priest of On is like a Christian getting married to the daughter of a traditionalist. And so from the onset, there is a sense in which the threat of religious differences was already installed from the beginning. And so this marriage is being transacted upon a pedestal that was already a prescription, a recipe for conflict and for not succeeding. But you see, there is something that clarity in terms of mutual understanding, in terms of expectations, in terms of what I want, what you want, and how our individual interests are protected. This is so critical, because for this relationship, there was a critical need to protect critical interests, and each party went into the relationship with that understanding. Now, most marriages, even when between people of similar religious persuasions, crash because of assumptions. People go into the marriage and there is an assumption about what your own expectations are about sex. There's an assumption about what your own expectations are about the role of each partner. There's an assumption about what you think about finance. People just assume that you should know. People just assume that what they're thinking is what you're thinking. What your expectations are about parenting, what your expectations are about practices with sex, what your expectations are about values and basic minimums. People just assume that because we are all adults, we should know. What people don't understand is that what God created in the form of man is an intelligent being. It's the reason why when 1,000 people look at the same issue, they can see it from 1,000 different ways. It's the reason why you cannot afford assumption in negotiating relationships. Nothing puts a relationship ahead of others like clearly defined terms and conditions. This is so profound that Joseph's marriage became one of the best marriages in the Bible, and yet it was not negotiated based on love, rather on mutual understanding. Listen to this. Love is good. Love is amazing. Love is magical. The absence of attraction in a relationship can be boring and unattractive. But listen, not without clearly defined terms. I'd rather be in a relationship where the terms are properly defined and the parties are committed to the terms than a relationship in which there is love, but the terms and conditions are not defined, and then parties act on impulse. No, I don't want to do that. I tell you why. When the terms and conditions are clarified and parties are committed to it, it creates an atmosphere that makes fondness, that makes bonding, that makes attraction, that makes love possible and sustainable. But when there is love, but there is no understanding and no commitment, even that love will fizzle out. So we must come to that place where we know what comes first. We can't put the cart before the horse and expect incredible outcome. Joseph's model is amazing. Mutual understanding as the common denominator and not love.